Hi, fifth grade. Today in math, we are actually jumping back a little bit to some fourth grade skills to review before we start into this next little section of our geometry unit for fifth grade. So we are still in unit 8 today working on geometry things, and we are taking a look at angles today to remind ourselves of the different types of angles there are before we jump into the fifth grade things that we are going to be doing with these types of angles. So first we're going to look at the 3 different types of angles that we can have. We're going to start right here in the middle with a right angle. A right angle measures 90 degrees. And to make the degree sign, you just make a little circle up here at the top. Okay, so a right angle measures 90 degrees. And in parentheses, I'm going to put corner. That's like the corner of your piece of paper. Or if you look at the tiles on a floor, it's the corner of the tile. Perfectly straight up and down and straight sideways. Kind of like this corner right here. Straight sideways, straight up and down. That's a 90-degree angle or a right angle. We also have acute angles. Acute means less than 90 degrees. So remember, 90 degrees is a perfect right angle. So if the angle is smaller than the corner of a piece of paper, it is called an acute angle. And I remember that by its acute little angle. So it's small. And then opposite of that, we have obtuse, which just sounds like a really big word. Obtuse means more than 90 degrees. So it is bigger than the corner of a piece of paper because it's more than that 90 degrees, which is a right angle. What we have to be able to do with those 3 types of angles is we have to be able to look at any angle and label it as either acute, right, or obtuse. We have to know which category it fits into. So let's start here with this first angle. First, we're going to name the angle so that other people know what we're talking about. And we do that by its letter. So this is angle M, and we just make like a little alligator mouth and then an M. This symbol stands for angle. That way we don't have to write the word angle every time. So we're talking about angle M. And we have to decide which category it falls into. Would angle M be an acute angle, a right angle, or an obtuse angle? Well, this is small, smaller than the corner of a piece of paper, so that would be an acute angle. The opening is small, so it's acute. Try again with this angle. First, I want to name it. This is angle, so I'm going to use that little mark. And T, because that's the letter that they're giving me there. So angle T, and then I'm looking, is it acute, really small, right, perfect corner, or obtuse, big? And this one is big. That opening right there is much bigger than the corner of a piece of paper. So this would be obtuse. Going on to my next example. First, I want to name it. This is angle Z. And then I'm going to try to classify it as either acute, right, or obtuse. This one is a perfect corner, so it would be a right angle. Also, most of the time, not always, but a lot of the time, if it is a right angle, they will put a little square in the corner, and that's their symbol for telling you, hey, this is a right angle, you don't need to measure it. So that's what that little square tells us. So if you see a little square, you know automatically that's a right angle. Let's try some more examples here. Let's do angle A. Remember, make that little mark and then an A. That's the letter they gave me. And then I'm classifying it either as acute, right, or obtuse. This is big, so that would be obtuse. Going on to our next example, angle P. I automatically notice it has a square in the corner, which tells me right away this is a right angle. It is the perfect corner. So that one was quick and easy. The next one we have is angle V. And then I'm looking, is this small for acute, perfect corner for right, or big for obtuse? This is small. That's a small opening. So this would be an acute angle. All right, we have 3 more examples here. Now, naming these angles gets a little trickier because they have 3 letters. All we do is put those letters in alphabetical order. So now this becomes angle ABC, and I just write all the letters touching just like this, kind of like it's the initials of that angle or something. Angle ABC, no commas or anything. And then we need to classify it as either acute, right, or obtuse. This is a very small angle, so it is acute. Going on to my next one, this would be angle LMN. Making sure those are capital letters because that's the way that they're written on the angle. This one's a little tricky. It is a right angle. It is a perfect 90 degrees. They just didn't put the square this time, and that's okay. They don't have to. They just do sometimes. So we can go ahead and draw the square in there to prove this is a right angle. It is the perfect corner of a piece of paper. Last but not least, we have this angle back here, which is angle PQR, keeping those letters in alphabetical order. And angle PQR, we either have to say is acute, right, or obtuse. That is a big angle, so it would be obtuse. We have to be able to classify those angles by their different types, whether they are acute, right, or obtuse. Now, along with being able to classify the angles by their types, we can also measure the angles to see how big they actually are. And in order to do that, we use this tool right here. It's clear so you can see through it on my notebook. This tool is called a protractor. It's kind of a half circle. And this is what we use to measure how many degrees an angle is. We're going to practice using protractors digitally today on your iPads. So I'm going to go ahead and create a different video with instructions for how to do that assignment digitally with the protractor. So go ahead and watch the next video for today. Bye!